Hi, I'm Juan, and we're outside of Davis Kitchen with Valeria.
Hey Juan, your hair
Hey,
looks nice.
you look like a cowgirl.
I know.
And we're here. Ava's gonna talk to interview Mr. Doyle about his theater company of an African American event here at Norristown. So let's go. Hi, Ava.
Hello. Thank you. So I'm currently here with Mr. Doyle talking about Juneteenth, which is an African American celebration of the freed slaves from 1865. So I would currently like to know what exactly got you involved in Juneteenth.
So Ernest Hadrick, who was at the time a leader in the NAACP, still is, but he had a position. I think he was vice president at the time. Came to me at the high school and said, I would really like the youth to do some kind of event to celebrate Juneteenth in Norristown. And they had tried an event the year before, well, I guess it was 2009, where they tried to simulate a slave ship at the library. And it happened, but it didn't have the sort of depth he wanted. And he knows that I focus on social justice theater, and I have this sort of real interest in theater of lots of different cultures, so he asked me to work something up. So I grabbed my theater company, and I have a pile of African-American actor friends, and we sat down and we said, what can we do? And the idea became, why don't we spotlight the places in Norristown that have some measure of African-American history and try and create a thing like Blobfest in Phoenixville or the Burning of the Phoenix, an event in Norristown that would draw people into the community and also celebrate. So that's sort of how I got involved in it. I grew up on the 1600 block of Willow Street. I grew up during the end of the civil rights movement in the early 70s. My connection to sort of these issues is really deep in my heart. And although I can't have ownership of those things, I think it really matters that we spotlight it, especially in a town like this, which is so fully minority.
So, like you being a predominantly white male and fundraising this event, do you find yourself in conflict or with people involved with it, or just even running the organization itself?
Yeah, so that's another great answer. So, your question, I'm very aware of my whiteness in this project, and because of that, I surround myself with really strong African American talent, both as creators in the process and as participants or actors. So, like, we've done this in the past, and so in the 2013 version, I had some members of African American members of council come and watch what we were doing and make comments about the work to see that we were on point. My African American actors, aside from the fact we trust each other, I'm teaching them acting. I'm not teaching them blackness. You know what I mean? When I'm picking the pieces, I'm crafting a piece of art, and that piece of art is in conversation with these other talents. So I've hired an assistant artistic director for the company who's an African American and a very close friend who's worked in Norristown a pile of times. His name is Rich Bradford. And he and I sit together and bang our heads together. And we're both artists, and we both care about the issue, and so we find some measure of truth. But sometimes having a white guy involved in this is good because I can see I am the oppressor, and sometimes I'm really conscious when I'm picking pieces of making sure I'm calling the things of myself out. Instead of just celebrating what it means to be black, I'm saying, look, these white folks do some bad stuff, and how does it hurt you? And we can speak to those issues too.
It's like a self-reflection in a way.
Yeah, well, certainly it is. And in that self-reflection, we're able to ask other questions as well as celebratory questions that come from the African American community.
Okay, I like that. So then, with the walk throughout Norristown, where exactly would the people be walking through?
Great. So the event's a walking tour of downtown Norristown, and we begin at Five Saints Distillery, which is right across from Tim Show Coffee, where we did a show last week. And we travel down DeKalb Street. We go we travel down Main to DeKalb, up DeKalb to the street the Theater Horizon's on, which I'm going to say is Ann Street, or at least the other half of it's Ann Street. We make a left there. We walk past Theater Horizon and up into the courthouse area. There's a nice, cool set of marble steps that you can go up. We walk around the front of the courthouse, and then you can see the old prison, when we're going to do a piece there about the prison industrial complex and sort of that pipeline to prison that happens in the African American community. And then we walk down past the One Montgomery Plaza, and right now we're making a decision about whether we're going to walk down to the corner of Sweden, Maine near Diva's, or continue down to this sort of the area where First Baptist Church used to be, which was a giant abolition center in Norristown in the 1800s, and sort of do a speech there that's about abolitionists.
So what should people be expecting on these walks?
So number one, it's a long walk, right? So people should be prepared to walk. That doesn't mean if like someone has a wheelchair, they shouldn't use it. We can roll you along. If someone's on crutches, bring a wheelchair because it is a long walk. The walk takes about 45, 50 minutes to do, and along the way, the 10 minutes of actual walking is populated by actors who pop up in locations and do either dramatic presentations from a play or scenes from history, like speeches from history or documents from history that speak to an issue about the African American experience.
So how exactly would you get the Black community of Norristown involved with this such a big event such as this?
So getting the community of Norristown involved has required me to talk to people all over the place, which is not my favorite thing to do. I'd rather just make art and make television with students. But we've talked to council, we're talking to the Chamber of Commerce, we have a pile of Black churches who have information. This whole event is partnered with the NAACP in Norristown. So the NAACP is helping us with fundraising, they're supplying the tour guides for the event, so I supply the theater and the structure, and the NAACP supplies the tour guides, and then we train those tour guides in what we're talking about in the production. And so the NAACP is out there getting people. Ebenezer Baptist Church is supplying us with a van so that once you've walked the route, they'll drive you back to Five Saints at the end so you can go back to your first location. So what you do is you sort of include people, right? Like sitting here with you is including you suddenly. It's including anyone who's watching. It's including my students in this thing we're doing and trying to get them to be engaged. But for me, the real key to this is that, so this is an event I'm running, right? But it's not an event for me. It's an event for Norristown to try and build life in the downtown. So if I can get 800 people into downtown on a Saturday, I can get 800 people to go to the coffee shop or Diva's Kitchen right here behind me, or to go to the Mexican restaurant down the street or the Asian restaurant across the street from that. I can get 800 people to see downtown Norristown as a destination. And to me, that helps us all. And I care about that. So as much as I want Norristown people there, I want the people in Norristown to call King of Prussia, Plymouth Meeting, Phoenixville, Collegeville, Conshohocken, and say, come into our town and see what we've got and experience culture here. And that's what I really want to see happen.
So then your primary goal for this event is to bring unity in our community and help other people see the glow that's within Norristown?
Yeah, I think that's really true. I mean, I'm a Norristown resident since I was born. I'm teaching at the school for 25 years. I want you guys to be proud of your town, and I want other people to see you in the light that you really live in, not in the light that newspapers or the courthouse being here paints us in. And we have these cool businesses in downtown, and we have amazing people working in the town. And I just want folks to come into town and experience that. I want them to go to the Center Theater, see a show. I want them to go to Theater Horizon and know there's a theater here. And I want them to take classes here in the summer. And I want them to want to move here.
So I want to say to clear any gray area about Juneteenth, because it is a very controversial issue, and it's a highlight of Emancipation Proclamation. But it's also a big celebration. It was very big on festivities and bringing people together and people being happy. So it doesn't have to be this very foggy, depressing thing of learning about, okay, yeah, we're having a very controversial issue in the prison system and police brutality and all of these different adversities the Black community is facing, but it's also to highlight, okay, where are we going to go next? And I appreciate you, sir, for bringing that attention here.
Yeah, so one of the things we've done this will be the fifth one we've done in Norristown, in fact. And the first one was in 2010, and we did 2011, 2012, and each has a different theme. So one theme was celebratory, one theme was thoughtful, this theme is a little radicalized. Each time we do it, we try and make something different. On the 150th anniversary, we actually didn't do the walking tour. We were inside the Center Theater, and we had a full-blown celebration with people in Norristown. We just filled that theater and did one performance with, 15 or 16 actors. So you're right, it's all different things. I want to raise questions, but you also want people just to be able to celebrate. But But if you come to Norristown and you do our tour, you can go to Philly and there's 30 events down there that you can have a party and a picnic and all that stuff. So come feed your mind for a little bit here. To note, once you're done, you can also just go across the street and grab some food and have a conversation. And we're hoping to get a gelato guy on the street. It's like we're trying to bring some festivity as well.
Great. So, I actually, is there anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, nice. I like a nice question. So we want to make sure we know when people should do this and a little bit about it. So it's on June 16th instead of June 19th because June 19th is an evening and I feel like I don't have enough time. It starts at 10 a.m. The last tour leaves Five Saints at 3:40 and the event's done at 4. Tours leave every 20 minutes or so. They won't be more than 25 people on a tour. And they come and it's for free and they sign up and so they can come anytime during the day. They may have to wait, but if they wait, they can go across the street and get coffee or grab some food here and come back. You know, there's lots you can do in Norristown while you're waiting for the tour to go. So that's how it's going to work. So June 16th, 10 a.m. to about 3:40, downtown at Five Saints, which is on the 100 block of East Main.
So then you heard it here, folks. Come out to the Juneteenth. It's on June 16th. And walk with us and learn something about our town. Appreciate town and get involved. That's it, sir. Thank you for coming in.
And it's free. Absolutely free.
It's free. So